back here makes me hot in the face. Hot blood in my pulsing veins. Heavy memories weighing on my brain. Hot and heavy in the basement of your parents' place. You used to be so sweet. Now you're a firecracker on a crowded street. Couldn't look away even if I wanted. Try to walk away, but I come back to the start. Let me to the floor, even though I'm not a dancer. Ask me all the questions that your parents wouldn't answer. How could I deny a diamond in the rough? You let me in your world until you had enough. You knew that I wanted you to bend the rules.
All right. I forget how I used to start the shows because every single show I say like the first things to start every single show, like, hello and welcome to, or today is, or my name is Jimmy, his name is Jake. They all have a formula to them because I'm dumb and can't remember things. I forget what I used to do on Morning Show. I know I used to forget the intro a lot, and Josh Osborne used to help me remember the intro. I'm not going to do an intro because I don't know what this version of Mornin's going to be. And thanks to, looks like we have 61 people hanging out on AMP right now. That's awesome. Thanks for tuning in and for the very first call and for downloading the app and being part of this. It will go up on YouTube. It will go up on the podcast app after the fact. But it's cool that Amazon reached out. They wanted us to help promote their new app and be part of it. And the fact that we can play music and take calls is really cool. They can hear me, right? Everything's going smooth? Because it's kind of a interesting dynamic here. Maddie is with me, just to let you guys know. Maddie from Farm to Fame, from Wordle. What else would everyone know?
I edited laughs from the past.
The last season or last two seasons?
Yeah.
That was another show people liked. That.
Oh, Bino.
Bino. Oh, wow. Current Bino champ. That's like, should be your title. That should be the first words that are used to describe you. How many people do we have that are waiting? We had Normal Dog and E-Hutch.
Two people waiting to call.
Can you throw Normal Dog through? And we'll just take a call right off the bat, and then I'll get into more stuff afterwards.
He's invited.
All right, so how it works is, Alex, you're invited. You got to unmute yourself. You can talk, and then I can't hang up on you, so you got to hang up on yourself when the time comes.
Oh, I got it.
All right, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting ready to go to the Mets doubleheader.
Damn, who's pitching?
I think McGill and Wood, and then Webb and Scherzer.
They're playing the Giants?
Yeah.
Webb and Scherzer is a hell of a matchup.
I know. I was supposed to go yesterday, too, and today, so I guess it just kind of worked out.
Where are your seats?
Today, I think they're 301, which is right field.
Okay.
Like up top.
Anyone else that's going to the Mets game and sees Normal Dog, pants him?
No, don't do that. All
right. Tighten your belt.
I'll be wearing an Athletics Kyler Murray jersey.
Okay.
So
that's nice. That's a move to go to the Mets Giants game. Are you feeling confident in the Mets? Wait, you're a Yankees fan.
Yeah, of course.
You're just going for the baseball.
Yeah, I'm just going because the Yankees don't play till Friday, and Friday I'm a bat boy for the Long Island Ducks, and we have our home opener on Friday, and I'm working, so I can't go to the Yankee game on Friday. So,
are there any guys on the Long Island Ducks that we would know?
Actually, Tyler Webb.
Okay.
I believe he would pitch for the Cardinals last year.
Roger Clemens the Ducks once, right?
Who?
Roger Clemens. Didn't he make his return comeback, or was it Canseco? For a little bit, the Long Island Ducks were like the 40-year-olds that wanted to still play independent ball team.
I'd say a little less. Not really 40-year-olds. Clemens was in the Atlantic League. I think he was on the Patriots.
So Clemens pitched for the Ducks on September 7th, 2012. How old were you then?
How old was I in 2012? That's a great question. 14?
Okay. You don't remember?
No, I was a lot younger than 14.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like 5 years ago.
8. I was 8.
Okay.
I was my years were off just a little bit.
Have you been perfecting your blitzball pitches?
I actually have. I was learning a slider the other day that I'm kind of getting down, and the riser I'm adding to my repertoire.
So our series with David Cohn hasn't come out yet, where he gave us pitching advice. It's going to come out on the Yes app. And
Right.
the sidearm slider, he unlocked that for Jake, and he basically said, think about throwing the ball back into your stomach.
Back into your stomach.
So like your fingers, you want to spin it like you're really trying to spin your fingers, the ball back into your stomach to finish it, the spin. So that's my advice to you that comes from David Cohn that was said to Jake.
So it's basically advice from David Cohn.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Through proxy.
I mean,
Jake and then me.
I think I'm getting it down. My main issue is use another pitch and I try to go back to it. It's just all over.
It's pretty hard to throw those things.
It's weird. They're weird.
Do you think you would hit me or Jake?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. All right.
No, it's more about the strikeout.
Yeah. I mean, people will see in the 1 inning league as we continue to go, strikeouts get less and less because once you see a pitcher over and over again, you kind of.
Yeah, I was watching the one with.
You figure out how to make contact.
Yeah. I like pitching more than I like hitting in blitzball.
Yeah, they're both hard, but hitting is impossible. Do you have
hitting.
any requests when we're doing this show for the remainder of the year, every Tuesday, live on AMP, and then it's redistributed? Did you listen to the early Mornin, the history of Mornin, and do you have any requests for segments or topics that I should do again?
I don't really think so. I'm not really a pro on Mornin. I was kind of after that, you know.
Okay, all right. When did you start tuning into everything?
I think mid-June, like of 2020. So like right.
Yeah, it's like
after COVID.
Right when the season started happening again. We were in like the crazy stretch.
Yeah, because I would go on like bike rides every day because I had nothing else to do. And I was like looking at podcasts and I just kind of clicked on one. So best decision of my life right there. So.
What was it? Talking baseball or talking Yanks?
I believe it was either talking baseball or talking Yanks. Okay. I'm not sure.
Makes sense. Cool. I love it. Well, thanks for calling in and listening and enjoy the doubleheader today.
Of course. Thank you.
You got to kick yourself out now.
Oh, do I have to? Oh, yeah, okay. Here we go.
I can't do it. I'm gonna
bring
E-Hutch in if he's still there, and then I'll just start rambling about the future of the show.
All right, perfect. All right, see it.
E-Hutch is invited.
E-Hutch is invited. Has to unmute himself. And
hi, Jimmy.
What's up, man?
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. First time, long time. I remember like seeing this guy pop up on the Yankees tweets of the final score back in 2017, posting videos of himself.
That was
and now
the start of it.
Now you're helping this cool tech startup called Amazon. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I read I read that article that was tweeted out today. So, you know, with the SeatGeek partnership. So congrats, man. It's crazy. It's been cool to support you for the past like 5 years.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Anyone that's been around for that long has definitely seen the wild trajectory and growth and all that. And yeah, helping out AMP, which is cool because I like doing callers. I miss the live chat aspect and seeing everyone's thoughts. And maybe we got to like make a, I don't know, like a game day Reddit thread or a Discord or something. So I could read the live chat along because I love that aspect of being live on YouTube, but it's cool to be able to easily take callers and all that.
Right. So is Morning going to be strictly like audio, I guess, from now on?
No, we're filming my face right now and we'll put that up on YouTube. And then,
okay.
You know, I made sure we got the live audio or the rights to repurpose the audio on the podcast app so people can listen at their own time. But if anyone wants to call in and be part of it live, then it will be on the AMP app.
Yeah, cool. Because I wasn't sure. I mean, you know, having the video component is huge for any show, I guess, or any content you guys do. And I didn't tune into Morning too often when you were doing it originally, but I do remember really liking the random Google Earth drop-ins where you would just kind of like go to a random part of the country or world and just check it out. You know, I think that kind of related what the show was about really well.
Yeah, that was supposed to be. Yeah, the whole thing started as I was going to just give the weather from like it was like a morning show, and I was going to give the weather today and choose a random town in the U.S. And if someone was listening from that town, they'd be like, "Hey, that was actually my weather." And then it started. I was like, well, "Wait, what's that town about?" And then I started actually doing deep dives into towns. But we found some weird shit on those Google Map drop-ins. I remember finding in Kentucky, like there's just a house in a town in Kentucky, and they had I'm guessing training or like underground, like horse race track behind them. It reminded me of Seabiscuit. But yeah, I don't know how well we'll be able to do those because I want to do them, but it doesn't really serve the live audience because they won't be able to see my screen. But then people watching YouTube, they'll be able to. So I don't know.
So then what do you have planned for Morning? By the way, stellar intro. So what better way to kick it off than how you did 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, it's perfect. I have no intro. I just did all the intros to the other shows. I don't know. I definitely want to chat with people. I want to talk like music. We've done like towns, random baseball players. We've done rabbit holes of weird shit, books. There was times where I was reading like just passages from like poems that I like, which always sounds like weird, but poetry is just short stories. And what else did we do? So I don't know what this version is. I kind of wanted to talk with people today because anyone that is listening right now or tuned in immediately and like followed, I'm guessing listened or was around for the other versions and maybe has suggestions or requests for what topics they want. But I do want to do like a kind of a Q&A or just like a behind the scenes. I am a sucker for like behind the scenes of businesses, of decisions, of the ins and outs of like all that. So if anyone's interested in the behind the scenes of Jomboy Media and what we're doing and new ideas and shit like that, I think that'll be part of the back end of the show.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I'm sure that you have a lot of things cooking right now that probably isn't for the public's ears at the moment. But yeah, no, man. I strongly support everything you're doing. It's great to chat with you. I'm actually gonna have to. I didn't even think I'd get on the call with you. I have to head for work.
Well,
but
enjoy. What do you do?
So I work at a music school. It's like we do like lessons and programs in the town. I'm like the manager there. Actually, Jimmy, before I do split, I did send in a song for JJR like a couple summers ago. I like recorded something and I remember you saying like, yeah, like it'd be cool to like get like other, like to get original music in from fans. So I sent one in and you guys actually played it, which was really cool. Like once or twice. And I thought that was neat. So thanks for doing that.
What was the song? Was there like a title?
No, it was probably like, Jomboy Radio Edit Final version 2 or something stupid like that.
Okay. It's a good title. It's a working title.
Exactly. It's one of those titles that, keeps changing every new mix. But no, there was no official title. I just sent it in and I was like, here you go. And you played it. So that was cool.
Here we go. Ready?
Okay. No, definitely not. You know what?
This is it.
I sent that in. I think that was like, because I made multiple ones. One was for like a sports segment, and then one was for like when you're doing the news. There was another one that I did though that was like more of like a poppy sort of like.
This?
Yeah, that was it.
I just pulled it up via email.
That's so funny.
We'll put it back into the mix. Well,
we can't hear it too well, but
JJR was originally like a new song opened the show every single day back in like their origins, but then copyright, we were like, we can't do that. This show would never survive. So then I wanted people to make intros that we could just always just do like different intros that were like fan made, but Boobach kind of stole the show with his intro.
Oh, I mean, Bubak is, I think, like a key part of Jomboy Media at this point. How's Bubak been? I feel like I haven't heard him on like Talking Yanks or anything lately.
Yeah, we haven't had done voicemails in a while. He's got too many kids now. We do need to reconnect with Bubak. Bubak, if you're listening, we need to reconnect.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's out there supporting you guys from afar.
Cool. Well, enjoy teaching music. I wish I had the ability to learn music when I was a kid. Now I'm too far gone.
Never too late to start. Never too late.
All right. Thanks for listening and tuning in, man.
All right, man. Take care. Talk to you later. See ya.
See ya. Okay, so that's what I'm excited about on the amp. Is just I'm gonna like it. I liked the stream. We're up to 58 now. That's what I'm excited about, being able to chat with people. I see there's more people waiting. And I'll click in a little bit, but I was gonna go through the history of kind of this show, because I actually think it dates back to something I did called Just Talking. I don't know if you know about that, Maddie, because you said you used to listen to Mornin.
I did listen to Morning.
When did you tune in? When it was like
COVID.
like COVID?
Yeah.
I can't believe I did 142 episodes. I can't believe that during that 2020 year, I did every morning. I know during quarantine, it was easy because I needed something to get me into work mode, because I was at the house. I was walking from the bedroom to the other bedroom, and I needed something to be like, all right, this will get me in the zone of like, I'm creating content and talking and like wake up. And it was supposed to be like 5 minutes. And then it ended up being a bunch more.
I mean, I think that was similar for everybody, because I would listen to like Talking Yanks and Talking Baseball on the rides. But then once COVID started, I kind of started with like Morning in the mornings, and that's start to the workday.
And then when baseball came back, I would love if someone had like eye in the sky of the Bronx office in 2020, when the season started till the end of October. I would love to see a recap, because I was doing Morning every day from the Bronx. Then we did 4 Talking Yanks episodes a week, full episodes, 5 Talking Yanks pregame shows. So that's 9 Talking Yanks episodes a week. We did 4 Talking Baseball full episodes and 5 Talking Baseball pregame shows. So we did 9 Talking Baseball shows a week. So 9 Talking Baseball shows a week, 9 Talking Yanks a week. We did Morning 5 times a week. So that's 18. That's 23 shows. We did Laughs from the Past, and we were doing little laughs, like 1.5. So we're up to like 24.5, 25, just call it.
JJR?
3 JJRs a week. We did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we're up to 28 shows a week. And Jake did Wake and Jake, which was the same as Morning. Breakdowns. I started doing Stats That Exist that season, and I was doing those daily at the end. And I'm sure there's like more that I can't think of right now. I don't know how we did that. I know that we when baseball was announced, because we purposely didn't over raise money as a company before 2020. We just took a little bit to trying to get the next step, and it was kind of, we couldn't say no to it anyway. It was an option from the agreed upon raise. So we were like, shit, we could have raised money after more money, blah, blah, blah. No, I got my timeline wrong here. The second round came after 2020, and our investors were like, well, whatever, COVID, sports industry is down. And I remember in like August or September, one of our main investors called just to check in, and I was like, yeah, we're doing well. I was like, because the 60-game race started, and I told him some numbers, and he was like, what? He's like, email every investor right now and tell them you're doing good. And I was like, okay, like, are we doing that good? Like, and he was like, yes, comparatively, and then even not comparatively. But we saw those 60 days, and we were like, all right, well, Q1 and Q2, we didn't do shit because the whole world didn't do anything. We need, like, the race starts. And Jake and I And Trev was grinding as well. Everyone was. I mean, it was Zach, it was BBD, it was Kyle, everyone. But I look back now at that stretch and I'm like, how the fuck did we do that?
Did you do watch-ins, play-ins?
Yep. Yeah. There's a lot of like baggage was going big, so there's a lot of watch-ins, plans. I also got married, got 2 dogs, moved to a new place.
You did vlogs. I know that's mostly Zach, but
Yeah, mostly Zach. Yeah, but Jake and I did 6 shows a day, 5 days a week, I believe. And then we came in every Sunday for the series recap. So 6 days a week. So I just don't know how that happened. But way back, I did a show like in 2017 when it was just a hobby, and Talking Yanks was kind of going big. And then I was like, I want to just talk about everything on a podcast if people will listen. I'm just killing time. So I created a show called Just Talking because I created the history show, I created a music show, and then I created Just Talking because I just like wanted a rabbit hole show. And that's kind of really the start of this type of show because I did a whole episode on existential anxiety with people still find and still like reach out every now and then. They're like, hey, I have that. I didn't know that. I did smell memory, how those are connected. I did a lot of like biases. History of kissing, endowment effect, Mandela effect, the Emu War. That was cool. Paradox of choice. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. Sibling order. Birth order, which is like, birth order is wild. It's like the biggest thing that makes you who you are, but people don't talk about it that much. Like more so than who your parents are or male or female. Like birth order determines personality more than like a lot of other things. And that was Just Talking. And then Katie, my wife, joined me on Just Talking when we moved to New Jersey, and she started coming in. We started doing like happy headlines and news and just like a big topic. And that was a fun show. And we talked about music and stuff. But then she wasn't coming to the office anymore, and I started doing Mornin, and we just kind of rolled it into that. And then Mornin, I couldn't do it every day anymore. So Ant was working with us, and we did like TV shows and towns and baseball players, and it was once a week. So it's been through tons of iterations of formats, and I don't know what we're going to land on because like I was talking with Evan, like the map stuff was fun, but it's not good for this audience that's listening only live and can't see, which is like a constant debate in my head of who do you serve. The people that join live are definitely like diehard like listeners and like very loyal, and you want to make a good product for them. But in the grand scheme of things, 90% of the people that tune in or watch are watching on their own time, which makes sense, and a different product. So how much effort do you put into the live stream versus the final product? Like which, like the Blitzball is a great example where I'd love to live stream games, but in the end, it's like, well, the product's going to be severely less with sound, replays, and just like editing for time or making things crisper. Like it's going to be a crazy drop in quality if we live stream a game. And then 5,000, 4,000 people watch live, and then 100,000 people watch afterwards. Well, it's like it doesn't seem proper to serve that 5,000 more than the 95. So that's like a push and pull. So I'm trying to figure that out as we do this. Is like how much do I include visuals when the main thing and the people coming live that are like the most loyal and the most helpful don't get to see it. So I don't know. That's kind of but I do love the random towns. And I remember watching random YouTube videos and stumbling into hilarious sound bites like the guy who did Tradition, which still gets said. I wonder if I have that anywhere. Tradition. Do you know that sound bite, Maddie? Do you know what that is?
When you said it at first, did not ring a bell, but then when you did the voice, it came back.
Tradition.
As some
Tradition.
I loved finding like each town's festival, like the Walnut Festival or the Wine Festival, or like what does the town like produce or what are they known for? I forget. That was like some festival that was like heavy into political debates, and like each like presidential candidate came to like that town fair to make a speech because it must have been in Ohio or somewhere. And someone asked the guy like, "What's your favorite part about the festival?" And he's Tradition. Caught me off guard. Speaking of today's Weekly Dumb, don't leave this episode to go watch it, but the hardest I've laughed at the not sports section in a long time. It was cracking up.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty. Did you watch it? I yelled to The Office.
We did a little Office watch.
Yeah, it's really good. Zach crushed it. All right, let's go to someone who is just waiting to chat, and you have to tell me if you listen to old versions and what you want me to do again, or you could just ask a question about anything. Well, we got Bronxy, or no? Is this in order? The picture I'm looking at is like NDAP 24, the next in line. So we'll just go NDAP. We're Cron Pod, always have been.
Invited.
Hello. Coming. They have to unmute. Maybe I'm taking them by their surprise. That's one of the things that you find is people are like, I didn't think you'd actually put me through. Okay. Should we do like a countdown here for NDAP?
Mm-hmm.
Like a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's move on to Bronxy.
Invited.
All right. Bronxy may be coming. I don't know how to pronounce the artist that I opened the show with. Lucy Dacus, I think. Oh, Bronxy taking down a hot dog at the stadium.
Hello. How are you?
What's up? How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm at school. That's actually me at National Stadium. I go to school in D.C., but I'm from Connecticut, actually. I live close to where you guys were, and I think you played at a school that I went against. I went to Joel Barlow High School.
Oh, terrible at sports besides soccer. Back in
Yes,
2007.
God awful at sports, but hello? Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, no, I can't. Sorry. Yeah, god awful at sports, but Charlie Morton graduated from there, so we have some stuff going for us.
Yeah, that's that area of high school. So Jake went to Southbury. I went to Southbury freshman, sophomore year. I played hockey, Watertown Pomperog hockey, and then I moved after sophomore year. My family lived in Newtown forever.
Oh, okay, yeah, I live in Reading, so I bike right over into Newtown all the time.
Yeah, I think I lived like really close to Joe Barlow, or maybe it was Bethel High School. I don't know. No, 10 minutes from. I lived 10 minutes from Joe Barlow High School. It's a bad name, to be honest.
Oh, how about that? I live right there
Joel
too.
Barlow isn't a good name. And then they named the high
Yeah,
school
no,
after him.
it's does not flow off the tongue whatsoever.
Who was Joe Barlow? Do you know? Did they teach you that at
I want-
school?
He was. They definitely should have. I'm pretty sure he was something to do with the Revolutionary War. I think he signed the Declaration of Independence, but nobody that important.
Okay, it says he was an American poet and diplomat and French politician. He supported the French Revolution and was an ardent Jefferson Republican. Wow. All right. Well, how are you?
Okay.
Did you used to listen to
I'm excellent. I actually didn't know. I discovered you guys a little bit later. I started listening to Talking Yanks only this past year in the 2021 season. The lip readings and everything. I think I discovered you same time a lot of other people did with the Savages in the Box or the Astros breakdown. And since then, I've become enveloped in all things Jomboy as far as JJR and Talking and Wake and Bake. And I love the GeoGuessr series by so much. And I'm excited for this too, to now be able to do this live.
Are you
thing. And
are you impressed
I could sing you. Sorry.
You're chopping up a little bit, but
What was it? Say it one more time.
Are you impressed with Geo Flag Guy's flag ability?
I guess. I think you guys. Personally, I like the series where you guys go for distance more than the countries one.
Yeah. Countries is harder.
But I think Yeah, well, you guys clearly like the challenge, and there's nothing more entertaining than seeing you and Jake lose your minds when you were beyond close, but just missed the cutoff. But I think I could sit here and sing your guys' praises on what you've done for, I think, the sport of baseball. And I mean, I'm 19 and getting young people into the sport, and I think I've always said the biggest problem with it is that, like in the NBA and in the NFL, everybody is focused on what's up and coming. So they're looking at the college sports and they're looking at this next generation of players. And in baseball, it's so much harder because the minor leagues are just not as prominent, and college baseball rarely takes a huge stand in the national scheme. And I think what you guys are doing with Farm to Fame is specifically going to do so much to help the game. Like when the lockout was in place and it was, let's talk about college baseball as often as possible, and now you're hearing names that all of a sudden you're going to be hearing in 3 or 4 years. I think that was beyond helpful for kids like me. Who, like you always see, I'm constantly hearing adults saying, we need to get more kids in the game. We need to get more kids in the game. And here I am, a kid who loves the game. And I'm like, well, look at what Jomboy and Jake are doing, because they're the ones that are getting eyeballs on the sport. And I think you guys are absolutely excellent.
Awesome, man. Cool. Well, hey, thanks for calling in. But one quick question, and then I'm going to let you go because it's getting kind of choppy on us. Do you like the Wordle videos?
I do like the Wordle videos, actually. And I think they're edited in a very good way when you put you guys always put the order the right way around, that you keep it interesting.
All right.
I have been watching the Wordle videos. I watched the JJR more than anything, too.
Did you ever watch old laughs from the past episodes?
I haven't, no, okay, but I want to, because I need to I want to learn more about the old.
Your track record, I think you'd like him, especially the last season.
He's 2-2.
Cool.
The old sports, but I have not gotten into it yet, no.
It's getting choppy. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate you. And enjoy the rest of your day.
Got it. Thanks for having me.
So Bronxy is a Matty Mass fan, but he doesn't know it. He named all your properties.
Yeah.
He's like GeoGuessr.
Well, but you asked about Flag Guy, and he said, and I was like, oh, man.
He likes distance better, but that's fine.
But then he brought it back with the Farm to Fame out of nowhere.
Farm to Fame out of nowhere. And then he likes the Wordle videos.
Yeah.
Hasn't dabbled into laughs in the past. So, yeah, he's a big fan of yours. He specifically gave you a big compliment on how they're edited, which
True.
is how you're the editor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're telling behind the scenes, sometimes the Wordles, most of the time, it's not the same order that people play in. Like I edit them
you
out
have
of
to
order.
put them in a more exciting order.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. The Wordle videos are just shot as whenever people can do it. Like you just set up shop,
yeah,
and then till like 1 o'clock, if you're there, you can do it. We have hats now tomorrow.
Oh,
so the winner circle will be wearing hats,
crowns, some would say.
And if you're in the video and not wearing a hat, you're gonna feel just so bad about yourself, BBD. not in the winner circle.
Ever since you coined the term,
yeah,
a winner circle member hasn't won.
Yeah, we have not protected the circle yet, but we will protect the circle tomorrow. I want to hear a fun rabbit hole history tidbit that I probably have shared on this before. We used to have a song for this part of the show. It was Jenny Lewis, is that her name? And it was, I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole. She sings it better than me. Joe Barlow, Connecticut. Do you know there's also a Barlow, Ohio? Do you know why, Maddie?
Nope.
Good, because it'd be weird if you did, because you're not from Connecticut. When the U.S. won the Revolution, Connecticut owned a bunch of land in Ohio because it was like the Western frontier, but they didn't do anything with it. And then they didn't want to part with it, but they had to sell it. And they sold it to a company called like the Connecticut Company. So there's Northwest Ohio or Northeast Ohio is just Connecticut. There's like all the Connecticut town names like Barlow. There's Barlow, Ohio. There's I think there's like a New London, Ohio, or Saybrook, Ohio, and it's the towns are like shaped similar ways and named similar. So there's a section of Ohio that is literally just Connecticut because It was the same people.
Do you think that there's therefore a section of the UK that's Barlow, etc.?
Well, yeah, well, that's what they had no creativity when they came over. What should we call this place? New Britain, New London, New England, New Haven. This is pretty boring. Pretty boring stuff. Okay. I can do another call. I can talk about the song that we listened to at the start. You said that you liked the music I would play because it would mellow you out.
Yeah, it was perfect start to the day.
Do you like slow music?
Normally, I would not listen to slow music, but the music that was chosen right before I would have to dive into a bunch of work calls for the day was perfect.
Okay. Her name is, I don't know how to, it's Lucy Jolly listens to her as well. Jolly saw her live. Lucy Dacus. I don't know how you pronounce it. Dacus. But I've been hooked on her new album called, that song that we listened to is called Hot and Heavy. And I don't know what is the new album called? It's all nostalgia, which I obviously, home video. It's all about remembering friends from her childhood and stuff like that. And that song, Hot and Heavy, the lyrics are, she's going back to her childhood home, and you would think hot and heavy, oh, sex. No. She's saying that the flashbacks make her hot and make her chest heavy. It's just the memories are heavy. So it's kind of a fun play on words. Being back here makes me hot in the face, hot blood in my pulsing veins, heavy memories weighing on my brain. Hot and heavy in the basement of your parents' place. Which is cool. I like when albums are like that. Like the first song, she's basically telling you this is a nostalgia album. I'm going back to my high school and early college days. And every other song is about a person or a relationship or something like that. Another one that's popular is called Brando. So I've been listening to that non-stop for a long time. There's some sad songs. I like sad, slow music. I mostly use music to fall asleep, so that's why I only listen to sad shit. Do we have anyone else waiting?
There's a lot of people. I sent you another.
A lot of people now.
Mm.
All right. Let's see. Aiden's been in here, and he's got a picture. I guess if you have a picture, that makes it more susceptible to me to click your name, because then you look like a human. Unless there's Fayow's in here, A Fish. I don't know, Maddie. You want to choose?
We can invite. Is it funny to put more than one person?
I don't know.
Aiden's been waiting. We're a crowd time.
We'll go Aiden. Aiden, you're gonna join. If you have a question, you can do a question. I guess we can chat a little bit. We'll try and move it along a little quicker, and then we'll find our footing as we continue to go on with Mornin on Tuesdays. Aiden B. Champs.
Hello?
Is that, am I saying?
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Aiden B. Champs. Is that I'm
It's
pronouncing?
Béchamp. It's French.
That's your last name.
Yeah.
I thought
Aiden
you
is
were
my
calling
first
yourself a champion. Like Aiden B. a champion.
No. That's my last name.
That's cool.
It means beautiful fields in French.
That's awesome. Jake's old screen name was Jeet Goes Deep, so I thought it was like that, like Aiden B. Champ.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Me and my brother, we've used it sometimes, like when we were playing baseball, people would just call us Champ,
Not
because that's in the name. Yeah.
bad. How you doing?
I'm good. Big fan of the pods. I'm surprised I even got in here. I've been following you guys since the Chris Carter video in Oakland.
My best work.
I know. Sorry?
My best work. I don't think I'll ever top that.
That was hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. I've been watching your stuff sporadically since then, and I guess in the 2021 season is when I started listening to Talking Yanks religiously, and I'm really into it. I really admire what you guys do. I guess I have a couple questions for you though. Do you prefer if I ask you about the Yankees or just books in general?
Whatever you got. I guess like not Yankee since I have a whole forum to do that. But if it's a quick one, I don't mind. You can ask whatever you want.
I guess the Yankees one might be kind of quick. Do you have a favorite Yankee Stadium memory?
Well, as a kid, my dad would buy me the right field box seats, and I would just sit with a crooked neck staring at the bleacher creatures. And that's when the bleacher creatures were like people, like Bald Vinny led the chin and Queen Tina and all them. And people would get kicked out, and they would, na, hey, goodbye. And they would do the YMCA, which isn't politically correct anymore. So being a little kid, I just loved the roll call, watching it. More adult. Yeah. I haven't been to too many like crazy games. Gary hit a grand slam and Giancarlo hit a walk-off homer in a game I was at in 2018. That's kind of the most exciting like big comeback I was at. But
I remember that.
I also, when I was a little kid, once me and my dad were walking through the concourse to get food or drinks or something, or I went to the bathroom, and we were walking, and my dad was watching the game through the tunnel from the concourse to the seats, and he saw Jeter do his jump throw. Like from that vantage point, we were walking on the concourse on the first base side, and like just as we walked through the window, he saw that, and he just like was like, "Oh my God!" He's like, Jim," and ran me to one of the TVs. This had to be like late 90s, early 2000s, to make sure I saw the replay of the in the hole jump throw. And that's always stood out in my mind, like that my dad was like that impressed, or like, we caught it through the tunnel, and he like ran me to the TV. He was like, "You got to see this." So those always stick out as like little kid memories.
Right. Yeah. So that was an old stadium. I've only been to the old stadium once, and I was like 5 years old. That was in 2008. Yeah.
Yeah, the old stadium was cool. It was definitely like an accordion effect. Like felt like it was like vroom, vroom, like the whole time. And the upper deck was like, I don't know if this slant is safe.
It's safe, yeah.
Yeah, it was like really it was tight. I mean, OSHA like made it so all the walkways are like double the size of what they were. So it feels more spread out than the stadium.
Yeah. I was at the stadium last Thursday, I think it was. You guys were there too. Yeah.
The King game?
Versus the Blue Jays?
Yeah.
Yes, the King game. Actually, my favorite stadium memory probably came from that game. When Judge moved to right field in the 9th inning, he was walking over to the spot. He threw a ball into the stands. He was walking over to the spot, and I had my camera out. I shoot pictures on 35 millimeter film.
Oh,
and
cool.
I screamed, "Judge, smile for the camera," and he pointed at me, and I snapped it as the point was coming back into his chest. So I didn't quite catch it in time, but the fact that he acknowledged my camera.
Did you post it anywhere?
It's actually on my Twitter page. It's the pinned tweet on my Twitter page. I think I linked my Twitter on the on my profile here, but if you want to search it up, it's just @A Deschamps. So just A and then my last name, DECHAMPS.
All right, I'm gonna check it out. Okay. Oh, your E has a little thing on it. That's cool. That is a cool picture.
Yeah.
I mean, the 35 the 35 millimeter makes it look like it's from the old stadium.
Yeah. I also did some color correction in post.
Okay. Cool.
Like post production. My banner on my profile is actually that might be my favorite stadium memory too. I was at the Twins. They played the Twins last August, and Judge hit a home run to right field, and I snapped it mid swing.
Yeah, those are cool.
You can kind of see the ball coming. Thanks.
Those are awesome. Cool. Did you have another question? A non-Yankees question?
Favorite genre of books. I feel like you can tell a lot about a person from their favorite genre of books.
Oh, yeah. I used to like whatever, there's a French term for it when it's like a self-autobiography, but fictionalized self-autobiography. Like Bukowski used to do that, and Fonte and all that.
Wow.
Now I mostly...
That's very niche.
Yeah, there's some French term for it. Now I like I don't know, man. I haven't been able to get back into fiction at all. So I've been reading a lot of history books, a lot of autobiographies, and then I like poetry because it's quick and you can get a story and be in and out.
Yeah. Right. I read a lot of short stories actually. Like I'm a big Raymond Carver fan.
Yeah.
His short stories are pretty great.
Yeah, that one. What's his most famous book? The Postman. Or the one that's
my favorite.
It has the short story where the couple is dancing in the driveway at the garage sale, right?
I haven't read that one, but my favorite is called Cathedral. It's the one about the blind man. It's that's 13,
a cool one.
14 pages.
Yeah, it's
that's a good one.
What we talk about when we talk about love is my favorite Carver collection of stuff. And the first story is like this old man is selling. I think I'm blanking now, but I think it's like he's selling his old shit because maybe his wife died, and they're so attached to his like memories in his youth. And then this young couple comes and they start like slow dancing to like an old song. I'm blanking, but it's cool. But I like his short stories a lot.
Yeah, he's great.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for calling in, and keep taking pictures. Those are awesome.
Thanks for having me on. I just want to say before I leave, I saw your call out, your kind of like casting call for the video editors. I just want to say I dropped my resume and hope I hear it back.
All right, cool. Yeah,
thanks.
We'll go look in. Awesome, man.
Thanks for having me on so much.
Yep. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, we got like 15 minutes. If we do calls, we'll just be quick in and out, so we can get some more people in. And then I guess next week we'll figure out if we want to do segments or it just be a call-in show. I really don't know what we're gonna do. So let's go, Maddie. Who are we gonna do next? And then we'll just do a quick like question and then probably ask and then mute yourself like old school radio.
Fayal's here.
Oh, Fayal. Of course, bring Fayal in. We got Fayal coming in.
Hello.
What's up, man? How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I don't even have a question. I had actually been thinking about the show when you announced it again and how it was going to work on radio, and you were asking for a suggestion thing, so I had a suggestion for you.
All right.
That didn't involve visuals. I was looking back a few days in fact, last night, at my favorite of your videos, which is you and Jake in Las Vegas when you're interviewing birds and lions and the Las Vegas Knights hockey team.
Yeah.
And I think that's like your bread and butter is when you guys just go off the cuff on that. So I was thinking the best way to do that, but still like have that morning touch is if you had a random town or whatnot, but a twist would be that you took like a restaurant review, like Google restaurant reviews for a restaurant in that town and just find like a mix of them just to base your opinion on something like, not even a restaurant, a place, just go through a Google reviews of the place just to form your opinion solely based off of that. Because that's the kind of thing that you do, that that's your bread and butter. You find that different angle that nobody like takes and then make something from it.
Okay. I don't, a lot of people like to do the review game because reviews are hilarious. I'll go to the map right now and we'll review a business in there. I remember one episode of Mornin, we were like in the desert somewhere. Was it, what's that city, the concrete city outside of LA or Los Angeles in Nevada, like Slab City? And they had like makeshift towns. I remember we did one on that, and then people that were like Slab City enthusiasts got mad in the comments. But it was like,
yes, they did get very angry.
It was
yes.
like a bar, and it was just like a hammock and a piece of wood at a tree. And it was like Joe's bar.
Yes, and
like,
you had the one pinpoint on the map that ended up just being an empty lot with garbage in the center, and people were not happy that you made fun of that.
Yeah. Slab City, what a weird place. Cool, man.
Yeah,
thanks. Are you getting worried that we're like adding too much content to your plate?
God, no.
Okay.
I consume. It's what I do.
Yeah.
And you guys, you're so revisionist about things. You are the type of person who goes back and back and back and back and will not continue doing something unless you can do it and think you're actually giving something to the public like that's like your thing. So I trust your opinion, your feelings on it. There are things that don't exist anymore. And the reason you've even mentioned laughs from the past. You've even said, we will only do this if I think I can do it in a way that is worth doing it.
Yeah.
And
wow.
like, that's why things kind of get paused, because you don't feel you are able to. So
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Yeah, we've started a ton
The
of stuff.
editing process.
Yeah. We actually have like a very fun announcement tomorrow. I'm excited for people to find out about. And then one next Monday. I don't know. A while ago, I told everyone we had 6 big announcements. I think we've announced 4 deals that we were working on that made my winter just hell of negotiation after negotiation. But I think we've announced 4. I think we have 2 left, and one is tomorrow that I'm excited about. So be on the lookout.
Will do.
All right. Thanks, man.
Heading out, I just want to say, Matt, you're awesome. You already know I think you're awesome, but you're awesome.
Thanks, Feo. You're awesome too.
Look at that. An awesome off. I zoomed in to a random town in Wyoming. Oh, shit. I zoomed out. Might have lost it. Called Medicine Bow. Oh, shit. I found it. Medicine Bow. So, I'm not recording my screen. This is, dude, I love these towns. Shit. You guys aren't listening. But if you have like a computer and you want it, it's Medicine Bow, Wyoming. And this is something I used to do on Morning. Maybe I'll record the screen, Matt, just if you want to put this in the YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Because this town of Medicine Bow, I'm remembering why I used to enjoy doing this. I like learning about little towns in America. I'm going to count the streets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 streets in Medicine Bow, Wyoming. They have a museum. It's temporarily closed. They have a senior center, a public park. I tried to record my screen and it's just like frozen now, so I can't even zoom in. So like, go fuck yourself, screen, I guess. They have a Stop and Shop, JB's Stop and Shop. So it looks like just a gas station, not like a Stop and Shop grocery store that we're used to. Now my computer's frozen because I want to go to satellite view and I want to zoom in. And now I'm mad about it. So we'll go to the next caller real quick. We have 9 minutes. An hour goes by fast.
I invited Sarah Allen. She sent me a funny GIF on Twitter. So
Okay. What was the GIF?
She said that she was waiting for me to invite her.
Oh, okay.
So.
Hello.
It's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Hello, Sarah Allen.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. All right, so from your picture, Braves fan, and are those your sons? It's a very small picture.
They are, yes. We are a diehard Braves family.
I love it. How old are the boys? Are they 2 boys? Or is that the picture?
2 boys.
Okay.
Yes.
How old are they?
One turns 4. One turns 4 in 2 weeks, and one just turned 1 last month.
Oh, that's very similar to my nephews. My sister, who works here as well, she has a one just turned, I think 4, and then about to turn 2. So that's a fun age. Do they get along?
Okay. Most of the time, it just depends.
That's fun. That's
I stay at home with. So I love what I do, but yeah, they keep me busy for sure.
Yeah. I get to go in the morning and I get to rile up my nephews before me and my sister walk to the train together, and then I leave them, and they're probably all. I probably do a bad job because they're all like today. We just started fake fighting, and then they still wanted a fake fight, and I was like, "Well, I'm out now. Bye. Sorry, Brett, their dad."
So you're that uncle comes in, gets them riled up, and then walks out the door.
Yes, very much so.
That's fun though. That's what you get to do.
Yep. How are you doing? Did you have a question?
Yeah, kind of a random one actually. Obviously, I'm a big time Braves fan. We live in small town Alabama. I feel like Ashlyn and I would be best friends. She just doesn't know it yet.
Okay.
So I guess just random going from a small place in Alabama. Need to know your favorite road trip snacks. Like you
Ooh,
walk into a gas station, you got money. What are you getting?
it depends on like if it's a windows down drive, I'll do sunflower seeds because that'll last a while, and then I won't like actually eat
Yeah.
a bunch of crap. I don't like anything in a road trip that makes my hands gross, like Cheetos or Doritos that has that film of cheese, because then I don't want to be
Yeah.
like wiping them all over. And then let's see, Gatorade, water, Red Bull, whatever calls for at that moment. Sunflower seeds. I'm trying to think. I've driven cross country 4 times, so I'm trying to remember.
Wow.
I'm usually like like a boring substance guy, like a Cliff Bar, and that'll get me through the next couple hours. But
Okay, so you don't go for all the crazy stuff.
Yeah, I like salt and vinegar chips a lot. Like if that's the potato chip I gotta get. I don't know. What am I missing out on? What would you suggest I try next time?
I'm a big fan of the honey barbecue twist Fritos.
Okay.
Those are an elite snack.
You know what? I'd be dangerous. Every now and then I request someone to send me in is it Buc-ee's? They're like
Yes.
the Texas golden nugget things.
The beaver nugget.
Yeah, and
yes.
and I would. Those are like those. We opened the bag at the office, and between me, Jake, and a couple other people, it's gone in about 20 minutes. I'm addicted to those, so that's a dangerous one. I'm glad they aren't readily available in the states I live.
We have a Buc-ee's that's about to open up about 20 minutes away from where I live, and it's going to be dangerous.
You're in trouble. Well, Ashland
Yeah,
has
absolutely.
a show. Ashland has a show on AMP. It's not. Do you know? It's Thursdays, I believe.
Yeah.
Hey y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you tune in, and then I'll let her know that she has a best friend tuning in that she needs to patch through.
That would be awesome. We're big fans of the company, the pod in general. Farm to Fame obviously is my go-to. Big Maddie, Kelsey, and Peter fans.
I didn't know Maddie was going to get so much love.
Man, we got to do this more often.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm all about some Maddie Mass. He's that quiet comedy over there on that show.
Perfect. I love it. All right. I'm going to try and get one more call in before we pass it to, I think Joe's does Tuesdays.
Baseball today.
Oh, baseball today, and then Joe's after them. So thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was good talking to y'all.
You as well. All right. We have time for like a quick one.
Yeah, we have a number of callers, so I'm just going to go in chronological order because this person's been here since the beginning.
Okay. Who we got? What's her name? My computer's completely frozen ever since I tried to screen record Medicine Bow, Wyoming, and I can't figure it out.
They can correct me on the pronunciation here. Mahomany?
It's Mihormini.
Mihormini from Ireland?
How you doing? No, I'm from Wisconsin.
Okay.
I'm a big Brewers fan and a big Jomboy fan.
Thank you, man. Thanks for calling in. We are running out of time, so I can do like a quick question. We got 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of Mornin in the past, and I really like the small town segments a lot. The history stuff that you do too. I like the deep dives in old people and learning. You're a good resource to learn from with Mornin. So.
Okay, noted. Yeah, I mean, I just opened up the Google Maps and saw this little ass town in Wyoming, and I remembered how much I like looking into those. So if other people enjoy that aspect, I think you're the second. Then yeah, I'll bring it back. We'll just zoom in on the map. Like all I did was just open up Google Maps and zoomed in till I landed on a town, and then we can just talk about it. There's so many tiny towns that are like, how do they exist? What are they about? So I'll bring that back.
That's perfect. Yeah. Your Morning is so it's like soothing. It's almost like ASMR, you know? It's relaxing to listen to compared to like a high energy, like Talking Yanks or something. You guys are coming off a big win. It's really nice to listen to Morning and start my day with that, you know?
That's good. It's very weird to do a low energy show or just like kind of a even keeled show. It's most morning shows.
I enjoy it.
We're going to wake you up. And I was just like, what's up, guys? Let's just talk about bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right. That brings us to the end of the show. Thanks. Mahormony?
Yes.
Nailed it. Thanks for calling in.
Awesome.
And
Thank you, Jimmy.
See you, man. Anyone that was trying to call in, I appreciate you. Sorry we didn't get to you. I feel like if I have the hang up feature, I can be much more quicker, but they don't have that yet in the app, which is still in beta. I appreciate everyone downloading the app and being part of this so much, helping us launch on AMP. And then I guess we'll post this on YouTube and we'll post it on the podcast apps, and on the YouTube comments will be the place where I'll go and I'll look and we'll figure out what we want to do moving forward and how we want to attack this. Because if people just want to call in, and I do like some quick segments about towns and open with a song in between calls, but mostly it's a call-in show about whatever questions. Like, that's fine with me. I love talking to people and seeing who's listening. So maybe that's it. Oh, Snagit's just about to start. So now I can record the town. Great shit. Awesome. I don't have a song to play us out, but we can maybe do the song that I started with because that makes sense. And see you guys. Oh my fucking God, that was the loudest thing in the world.